The hardest part about credit is simply the fact that you cannot see other people's credit report. And so, in my position, I'm able to see many clients' credit reports within any given time, right? Because we help and we assist our clients rebuild and fix their credit. And so, we have a different perspective versus the normal individual, right? So a lot of times people will come to me, let's say they message me on social media or they send me a message on TikTok, whatever it may be, right? And they'll say, I have bad credit. But what does bad credit mean, right? This is very subjective. Yeah, you could say you have bad credit, but bad credit for you doesn't mean bad credit for somebody else. Your credit situation could be exactly what someone else is trying to work towards, right? So sometimes people will come to me and say, "Oh, I have bad credit," and then we'll have a conversation, and they only have two late payments, and they have a 760. Which, if you guys are familiar with anything about credit, that's enough to put you in a position to where you can go to the bank and get financing, get a loan, get a line of credit, whatever it may be, right? So, um, the hardest thing about credit is the fact that you cannot see someone else's situation. Now, if you have a spouse, then you obviously may be able to, you know, say, hey, you want to look at my credit report, I'll look at yours, and you have a healthy conversation around that, your finances with your couple, then that's a different situation, right? Because then you can kind of see like, oh, this person's credit report is completely different with mine. And if you were able to see everyone's credit report within your family, you would see everyone's profile is completely different. Some you may find out have no profile at all because they've never even used credit before, or they don't have any products, right? So when you are working on fixing your credit, you can't start from the point of saying, hey, I have bad credit. It's, hey, I am here. And where I am trying to get to is I'm trying to have less late payments. I'm not trying to have any consumer proposals reporting on my credit report anymore. I'm not trying to have any collection accounts reporting on my credit report, right? Because you may have two collection accounts on your credit report, and the person next to you could have two bankruptcies on their credit report, right? So your situation, even though for you it may seem terrible, your situation is 10 times better than that individual next to you that has two bankruptcies, right? Because their timeline is going to be completely different versus yours, even if the two of you were to do nothing. So, for example, both of those collection accounts, if you were not to do anything with those collection accounts, have an age off date of 7 years. But the person that has two bankruptcies, okay, you have 7 years after you've been discharged. So however long that takes, right? However long it takes for you to be discharged, then that timer starts for 7 years. And then if you get an additional bankruptcy, which the person with the second bankruptcy most likely has had, then once they're discharged from that, that's an additional 14 years after being discharged. They will have to wait for that second bankruptcy to be removed off of their credit report. Okay, so we when we say we have bad credit, I mean, what are we really trying to convey? Right? So that's the hardest part, in my opinion, about credit is that you can't really compare yourself. You can't see someone else's situation. But it's a journey. And I believe that as long as you have a long term mindset around credit, then you'll be okay. Because we forget how long it took for us to get into that situation. Let's look at the person that has a bankruptcy. That same individual that has a bankruptcy, they also took years to put themselves in that position to where they needed to file a bankruptcy. And then it took additional years for them to feel as if they needed to file a second bankruptcy. So all of these things, all of these actions happen over an extended period of time. The person that comes to me and say, hey, I have 10 inquiries, my credit is terrible. And they say, oh, I have 10 inquiries. And I kind of chuckle to myself because, 10 inquiries, I wouldn't want that on my credit report. But I mean, we deal with way worse situations, right? So typically we won't even take on a client that all they have is 10 inquiries because again, that's usually something you could fix on your own. So with someone that has 10 inquiries, even that, maybe it took you some time to build up that inquiry. Now, there are outside things, factors where you go to a dealership and they do it all within one shot. But even within those inquiries, it takes time for those to build up onto your credit report. So I think as long as you have that long-term mindset around credit, I think you'll be completely fine. I say take it 1 year at a time. What is your current what's your goal? Is it to increase your credit score? Because if all it is to increase your credit score, what score do you need? You have to ask yourself, what score is it that you need for you to be happy with your credit? And then you may say, I don't know what score I'm looking for. Okay. Well, what is it that you're trying to accomplish with your credit? Because if you come and tell me I'm trying to get a credit card, then I'm going to say, well, all you need is a 700. And and as I say that, you may already have that. So if you are able to acquire the products that you're trying to get, if you're in that position to acquire the products that you're trying to get, do you have bad credit? Right? So we have to redefine what does bad credit mean? And for you, you may feel as if you have bad credit because you're not able to compare your situation to someone else's. Now, you may be very aware that you actually do have bad credit. Maybe you do have a bunch of collection accounts, a bunch of consumer proposals, and you feel like you're drowning in your situation. You don't know what you should be doing next. You don't know what steps you should be taking. That's understandable. But for those people that just have a few late payments, maybe you have a few inquiries, a lot of that stuff can be offset with time. If you have a plan, you can overcome a lot of those things. But if you're someone that you have a bunch of collection accounts, or maybe you've already gone through the process of having a certain proposal and you've been discharged, then my company is here to help. And we help individuals in that situation actually navigate through it. Right. So if you're someone in that situation where you're getting collection calls all day from collection companies, then I'm going to highly encourage you to send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We'll get on a call. One of our credit specialists will get on a call with you, and we'll go through your credit report with you, discuss what you should be doing to start improving your credit. And a lot of times, that's not you taking on our service. A lot of times, a lot of the clients we speak with, they're not a fit for our service. Now, we'll work you to the point to where we say, hey, now we can kind of jump in and help you out, right? But we'll give you a plan on that consultation call so that you have a better idea of which direction you should be heading into. Maybe you're contemplating on other solutions on helping you fix your credit. We can help bring clarity to that situation. Okay, so if you would like some advice, send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com, and we'd be happy to help you. And until next time, peace.